Good morning, evening, and afternoon, and welcome to part 65 of Aokana,蒼の彼方のフォーリズム. Last time we had a bit of a short episode, mainly focusing on the bar scene between Rika and Asuka. The scene was more about just them talking amongst each other, about thanking each other about how they've supported each other and going forward and things like that. The scene itself was okay. I feel like they could have had that type of discussion, talk, in a different type of scenario or scene, I guess you could say. Anyway, also Marcia, I think his name was Marcia. Sorry, the main character. Yeah, I think it's Marcia. Marcia didn't really need to be there in a sense for the scene to play out. But yeah, I didn't quite enjoy the scene. As mentioned before, it's a couple of these past few episodes haven't really satisfied me, I guess you could say. But going for the next day, it looks like the tournament is drawing near. And I'm looking forward to seeing how I feel like we're not going to see a lot of the other players' matches, but mainly focus on Rika's. That's what I feel like. So yeah, I'm not too sure what we can really expect there. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. The day of the tournament is drawing near. It's 3 days away. Whether we like it or not, we'll have to lay it all out on the table soon enough. Okay, so it's 3 days. We've been practicing our hearts out, honing individual techniques and competing in practice matches. And in one such match, Asuka forces her way into Rika's path as she's flying at full speed while trying to throw in a feint. Rika tries to shake off Asuka with a low yo-yo. Asuka shoots past her as Rika had intended, but pants leak from Rika's tightly closed lips. Rika forces her body to twist upward, suddenly dropping in speed as she shifts from a descent into a climb. Rika's speed may have dropped, but regaining her form has given her a huge burst of speed, allowing her to easily pass over Asuka's head. Nice, that was perfect. Damasareru is more like tricked, or yeah, she completely fooled me in a sense. Now that you mention it, you might be right. It's not like Rika's never gone past Asuka before, but it was always through force. Overwhelming her with speed was her only viable strategy. This is probably the first time she's actually managed to successfully use a feint. And it wasn't just luck. All of Rika's hard work has finally paid off. And not just hers, but everyone else's as well. Everyone's help has made her improve leaps and bounds. Okay, Rika, return to the buoy. Asuka, you wait for her nearby. Let's take it from the top one more time.
頑張って抜きます。ご機嫌よろしくて。
There you go. Oh, it's you, SunaeVN-san, and Shindo-san too.
やあ、こんにちは。見学に来たよ。
You came to see Rika, right?
高藤の方に顔を出しませんからね。信頼してはおりますが、気にはなりますわ。そちらにご迷惑をかけたりしていませんか？
No problem at all. It's the same as always around here, really. We all value her presence a lot. She keeps the club room nice and tidy, so how can we even complain? Not that I'm about to say that. They might start doubting our motives if I do.
本当に嘘はついてませんでしょうね。
I wouldn't lie about something like that.
それならいいのです。
Shindo-san smiles.
佐藤君はちょっと過保護なとこがあってね。
過保護だなんて、そういうわけではありませんわ。
SunaeVN-san is so embarrassed that she forgets to call him out on not using the right name.
一ノ瀬さんが高藤の生徒の自覚を持って真面目に練習に励んでいるのか、部長として気になっただけですわ。
そういうのが過保護だと僕は思うんだけどな。
ですからそうではなくて。
You came at a perfect time. Rika's flying right now, so why don't we go see how she's doing? SunaeVN-san clears her throat.
では拝見いたしますわ。一ノ瀬さん、とても良くなっていますわね。
うん、僕もそう思うよ。大きく成長したのは飛行姿勢の立ち直りだね。そこには目を見張るものがあるよ。
そうですわね。復帰がとても早いですわ。強引な動きをしてもスピードが落ちませんわね。
興味深いな。どういう魔法を使ったのか教えてくれないか？
There was no magic involved. If you're looking for a reason, I guess you could say this is all thanks to Kurobuchi.
黒渕かすみの。
SunaeVN-san's face clouds over.
それはどういうことかな？
Well, we shouldn't be thanking her or anything, but Rika's been giving it her all and practicing to face rougher opponents like Kurobuchi.
なるほどね。
Good. Sorry, just seems all weird to me. I don't know why it skipped to the next line. I wasn't even trying to do that. So he says naruhodo, naruhodo ne, which is like I see. Hai, soyu koto desu. And so there you have it. Yes, there you have it. In a sense, that's what he's kind of saying. So the good came out quite a bit weird for me. I'm not too sure why. Anyway. So SunaeVN-san shakes her head in exasperation.
お二人で勝手に理解しないでいただけませんか？私はまだ何も理解していないのですけど。
FC のラフプレイというのは、つまり自分の姿勢が崩れることを恐れずに相手の姿勢を大きく崩す技を使うということだ。
そこまで説明されたら私にも分かりますわ。ラフプレイを受ける練習をするということは、崩れた姿勢を早く戻す練習でもあるということですわね。
Exactly. I noticed that myself while making them practice.
普通なら自滅してしまいそうな姿勢のフェイントを仕掛けてもスピードをそれほど落とさずに済む秘密はそこにあった。
That's not all though. Her situational reaction speed has also gotten faster.
もしかしてそれもラフプレイを受ける過程で身についたのですか？
That's right. What should I do? What's the current situation? What about my opponent? How far is it to the next period? Even when your form gets destroyed, you need to have a handle on all those questions. Making even the slightest mistake can lead to your opponent racking up consecutive points. You started training like this out of necessity, but surprisingly, though fortunately, it comes with a lot of benefits.
一ノ瀬君を砂浜に預けたのは正解だった。
そうですわね。悔しいですけど、高藤にいたらここまでの成長はなかったかもしれませんわ。
Serenine-san's expression stiffens, despite the smile on her face.
ですが、
What is it? I think she's probably going to say something like, she is still part of Takafuji Academy, so in a sense, there will be enemies still.
心の方は鍛えられているのかしら。
彼女の最大のウィークポイントだからね。
Unfortunately, not everything comes so easy.
でしょうね。
Moments of surprise or foul play tend to make her weakness prominent. But,
なんだい？
unlike before, she knows her weakness.
そうだね。他人から弱点を指摘されても、それがどうして弱点なのか、一ノ瀬君にはまだわからなかったかもしれないな。
On the surface, she may have understood that her overly diligent personality was a weakness, but she never knew why. Perhaps her diligent personality, or rather, the chains on her heart, stopped her from ever thinking of that. But things are different now. I think her encounter with Kurobuchi helped her change. She truly realized what happens when she gets confused, or what happens when she gets angry. Asuka has been forcing Rika to face her weakness during her practice sessions lately, so I think she's come to fully understand them.
倉科明日香が再確認させたのですか？
You probably already know this, but when Asuka gets serious, she's real scary.
なるほどね。もう一ノ瀬君は気づいてはいるわけか。
I think she's facing up to them now as she practices. If she isn't, there's no way she'd be practicing so hard.
それを試合でどこまで出せるかですわね。
Yeah, but we won't know that until the tournament actually begins. Best players in practice matches can turn out to be completely average in tournaments. In baseball, they call them bullpen aces. They're players who do great in practice, but suck out in the field. Being able to draw out your full potential in a real match separates the strong from the weak.
一ノ瀬君の試合、早く見てみたいね。
Shino-san suddenly turns to face Saruin-san.
そろそろ行こうか。
どうしてですか？せっかく来たのですから一ノ瀬さんを。
Shino-san smiles once more. And it's at this point that Saruin-san realizes why he's asking to leave.
ですわね。見守るのも上級生の役割ですわ。
分かってもらえれば幸いだよ。
Saruin-san looks up at the field like she wishes she could stay and help.
わかりましたわ。
Then she turns around to face me with a snap. She glares at me sharply. Oh, what is it? After a while, she bows deeply.
改めて一ノ瀬理香をよろしくお願いします。
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I can understand why they want to go try to be like all serious or formalish type thing with the ma'am. But they could have just made it so that this hi is more like snappy and like it's hard for me to explain how I can really say this. But what they could have done is kept the yes and with a couple of exclamation marks or something like that. How can I, instead of yes, how can I go with it? The thing I'm thinking of is kind of shortened in a sense, like if they were to go, hi, wakarimashita, in a sense, like, yes, I understand, or yes, I got it, in a sense. Anyway, I just don't like the ma'am thing.
佐藤君は娘を嫁にやる母親みたいだね。
Please don't joke about that stuff.
でもこちらはそのくらいの気持ちで一ノ瀬君を預けてるんだよ。
Is he warning me not to do anything funny, or is he saying he trusts her in my hands? Probably both, to be honest. I know, I'll take care of her. That's a promise. In fact, I'd already decided long ago to do just that. Today's practice is over, but Rika and I have stayed behind to get some more work done. Real matches are right in front of us, so we want to do everything we can to ensure we have no regrets. I bellow into my headset. Up. Down, right. Accelerate. Put your back into it. More like put more feeling into it. I can understand put your back into it, but I think maybe it's just my mental thinking right now is more literal in a sense, rather than using English equivalents. Anyway. Rika flies according to my instructions as we repeat the drills over and over again. It takes time for anyone to put oral instructions into practice. Unfortunately, that's unavoidable because it takes time to process information after it reaches your ears. One thing I'm a bit wondering about how they're going to do it is, she technically still is part of Takafuji, so if she performs into the tournament, he won't be her coach or her second, unless there's an exception, I guess you could say. Or if they are allowed to have designated coaches, even if they're from a different team. But I mean, if you were to think about it, what happens if Asuka and Rika go up against each other? He can't be second to both, you know? So I wonder how that's going to happen. For example, when I instructed Rika to move her arms, that information has to move from her ears to her brain, where it's then processed and moved along to her arms. If we keep on practicing her moving as soon as she can after my order, we'll be able to tighten that window. If we can add fast reaction times to Rika's already quick speed, then she'll be a pretty damn strong player. If you can regain your form quickly, then there's nothing scary about a dogfight. If you can react quickly, then it becomes easier to give your opponent the slip. If you can keep your cool no matter what an opponent tries against you in a dogfight, then you can use your speed to outdo them. Just keep accelerating without worrying about what to do if you're stopped in your tracks. That's the ideal form for a speeder. Okay, we'll stop here for today. Restraint is a good training as well. No, overexerting yourself leads to injuries. I pass Rika a drink as she descends and turns off her grab shoes. You were really great out there. I bet you can compete for a top spot at the tournament. I do. What, you don't believe in yourself? Don't you feel like you've improved? Rika lets out a double little giggle, but then suddenly stiffens up. Rika? Probably Kurobuchi, the way she's reacting. I turn to see what she's looking at, probably to give her final warning or last words before the tournament, in a sense. Yep. Arms, legs, torso, neck. Form a grotesque silhouette that's hanging above in the sky. Grotesque is a bit of a harsh word, I can understand, but... I don't know those kanji, so I can't really comment on it. Sweat starts to form on the palms of my clenched fists. Kasumi Kurobuchi. The corners of Kurobuchi's mouth start to curve up as she stares at Rika. She scorns her with her laugh, her presence. Why are you here? Call out to her, but she just continues to stare at Rika.
報告してあげようかなと思って。
What kind of update? Kurobuchi corrects her posture before she answers that question.
私、黒渕かすみは模範的な行動を示したので、無事に秋の大会に出場できることになりました。皆さんのおかげです。ありが。
She doesn't look at me once. Even though she was answering my question, she continues to stare solely at Rika.
カニバサミで人を倒しちゃったり、手首を怪我させちゃっても、偶然ですって言い張っちゃえば、どうとでもなるんだね。よかったです。よかった。
Kurobuchi's long torso flops forward as she peers at Rika.
よかったって何がかな？答えてくれませんか？
Her bloodshot eyes bore holes into Rika.
あなたが出場停止にならなくてよかった。どうしてそんな嘘をつくのかな。怖いでしょ。私のこと怖くて逃げちゃいたいでしょ。私と試合したくないでしょ。私は黒渕さんと試合がしたいです。へえ。
Kurobuchi seems to rotate her head in place. The dark aura around her intensifies.
私と試合？
Her behavior is extremely intimidating.
お前みたいな選手は私が圧倒してボロボロにして二度と FC なんかしたくないですって言わせてあげる。私の方が優れてるって証明するから。私はそんなことに興味ありません。高藤や船浜、それに霧島中央のみんなのことを背負って試合をするだけです。背負って？ああ、そいつらがお前の試合に参加できるの？助けに来るの？
She reminds me of, for those who have played, the Japanese name is escaping me, but when the seagulls cry, Higurashi no naku koro ni, I think it was. Reminds me of the Golden Witch Beatrice, her laugh. Rika stands firm and puffs out her chest.
私の中にみんながいるんです。だから一緒に戦います。私はそういうこと忘れませんから。あなたは一人で試合をすればいい。私はみんなとします。
Kurobuchi seems to draw back a little, though she seems to be recoiling in shock that her tactics aren't working more than anything. I see now. Kurobuchi may excel at getting other people to follow her lead, but she doesn't know how to deal with people who won't play along. I doubt most people can withstand her pressure, so I bet it rarely ever happens. Rika glares at Kurobuchi.
私のこと怖いからリカちゃんはそんな顔するんだよね。かわいいな。黒渕さんもかわいいですよ。はあ？あなたが高藤に現れた時からずっと引っかかってました。
Rika ignores Kurobuchi's provocative words and approaches her. Hey, Rika?
どうしたの？ビンタ を一つでもしてみる？
Kurobuchi tries to provoke Rika once again, but Rika keeps on walking towards her.
ちょっと。
When she gets within 10 meters of her, Rika stops and leads in towards Kurobuchi's face. What the hell is she up to? This is kind of dangerous.
やっぱり。
Oh, what? Dumbfounded as Rika takes hold of Kurobuchi's hands. I wonder if this is something to relate to the past, is what I'm getting at.
さっち
Yeah. Huh? She suddenly uses a weird nickname as she talks to Kurobuchi. Oh, wait, Sachan? Isn't that...
ゃん。鹿児島の頃、もう一人大切な友達がいたんです。さっちゃんっていう子でした。私が FC を始めるきっかけになった子なんです。
Right, Rika did mention a friend she had back in Kanoshima, who she'd been separated from years ago. She's saying that's Kasumi Kurobuchi? I don't know how Kurobuchi was in the past, so maybe I don't have the right to judge, but she seems far from the image of the kind girl who taught Rika how to play flying circus. However, Kurobuchi is evidently disturbed. She hasn't denied it, so... Two of you are old friends, huh? That's the only conclusion I came to. As a famous detective once said, once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, no matter how improbable, must be the truth. I feel like I heard something similar to that. Not exactly the same lines, but then again, there might just be the translation difference, but anyway.
言ってたもんね。いつか大会で会おうねって。
Rika did mention that she'd promised to meet her friend Sachan in a FC tournament, which means that, in a strange way, they fulfilled their promise.
でも、どうしてこんなプレイをしてるの？さっちゃんは。
Kurobuchi remained silent. Kurobuchi seems to compose herself, eyebrows raising as she releases a sharp breath. Then she shakes free of Rika's hands.
こんなタイミングで思い出すんだ。
Kurobuchi smiles, derisively combing a hand through her dark hair.
さっちゃんも思い出してくれたんだね。私？何言ってんの？思い出してなんかない。忘れたことなんか一度だってないよ。
Smile finally fades from her face, the scorn and derision gone from her expression, but in its place. I wonder, the feeling I'm getting is perhaps like, when Rika had left, maybe she'd not talked to Kurobuchi properly and discussed how they were being separated in a sense. Maybe Kurobuchi felt betrayed. I don't know. It's regret, pain, frustration.
だって、あなたを倒すためだけに、私は FC を続けてきたんだもの。
I've never seen Kurobuchi look like this.
そんな。へえ。意外だった？ごく自然だと思うけどな。自分が FC を教えた相手が明らかに自分よりも才能あるって分かった時の絶望を考えたらね。
I've seen this type of thing play out a few times as well in different series. I've seen it twice in 2 different animes. One, not exactly the same thing, but something similar-ish. One was in a series called Great Teacher Onizuka, and the other in Steins Gate. Great Teacher Onizuka's one was a teacher teaching a student, but then that student ended up actually being smarter than the teacher herself, which made the teacher quite upset about that, angry. Like, how can you be smarter than your teacher in a sense? The second one was in Steins Gate, when the one character was always having fun with her father, but then they started having battles in science, but then the daughter started getting better than the father, and the father started getting upset with the daughter. So I can understand this type of thing.
ずっと嫉妬してたんだよ、私は。
Ah. My chest starts to ache. Kurobuchi is traumatized like me.
そんなこと。さっちゃんはあんなに上手くて、私はずっと憧れて続けてきたのに。憧れとか言ってるレベルの子が1年生から高藤でレギュラー張れるわけがないじゃない。バカにするのもいい加減にしてよね。
A frail smile appears on Kasumi's face. Why is he using Kasumi now all of a sudden? He was using Kurobuchi, now all of a sudden Kasumi. Okay. Actually, let me take a look at that. Maybe it's a translation. I don't think so though. I don't know how to read Kurobuchi's name. Kurobuchi, okay. Sorry, hold on a second. Oh.
その呼び方やめてくれない？バカみたいだから。
That's an interesting thing. There, hold on a second. So here in the English one it says it's a dumb nickname, but in the Japanese bakamitai dakara. From what I can gather from this, it's almost saying like it makes me look dumb. Bakamitai, it's more like hard to translate that, but yeah, it's nothing to do with the nickname itself. Imagine she has to force that thin smile to keep herself from exploding. That's what makes her scary. Sadly, I know exactly how that feels. Because I was the same as her once. Kurobuchi's laughter isn't to threaten Rika this time. Instead, she's using it to protect herself. And the sound alone makes my chest to throb. Wait, sorry. The two is a bit weird there. And the sound alone makes my chest throb with pain is what I would have gone with.
かっちゃんだと男の子みたいだから。あかさたなの次の順でさっちゃんにしようとか。子供ってバカだよね。発想も単純だし。
Kurobuchi slams her palm against her chest.
親が離婚して名字も変わった。
Then she scowls at Rika.
戦い方も変わった。
And finally she leans in toward her.
何もかも変わった中で、どうしてあなただけが綺麗な思い出のままでいられてるって思うの？
Uh-oh, she's starting to falter. Rika lowers her head.
大会もし当たることがあったら
あなたを容赦なく叩き潰すわ。ひどいことたくさんしてあげる。あなたの思い出ごと全部台無しにしてあげるから。
Kurobuchi's back to normal now. For a moment, I hoped that Rika's memories would act as a key to help her. But obviously, that didn't work out. The corners of Kurobuchi's mouth once again turn upwards, forming a sneer. And that sinister aura begins emanating at the exact same time. This must be so painful for Rika. Rika? Or so I thought, but her expression is still firm.
変わってません。
And then,
だってさっちゃんはやっぱり可愛いもの。あの時のまま変わってません。
まだそんなこと言うの？もうやめ。
さっちゃんは可愛いです。本当に本当に可愛いです。
そんなので
本当に可愛いです。
I'm just curious on why they keep changing the word, the translation for cute. Or kawaii, I should say.
やめ。
可愛いです。
やめて。
Kurobuchi finally loses her cool.
それで形勢逆転したつもり？無駄。はっきり言って無駄だから。もういいわ。あなたが何を考えようが何をしようが構わないわ。私は一つのことしかしない。必ず潰す。二度と FC をしたくないって思わせてみせるから。
Kurobuchi drags her feet along the ground as she backs away from us, only turning to walk away when she pulls up a considerable distance. And there she goes. I watch her back as she vanishes, just to make sure. The way she walks makes it clear that she's ready to dodge an attack from behind at any moment. It makes me realize she lives in a state of constant tension and paranoia. It hurts. Feels like I'm staring at myself in a way, even. Rika breathes a sigh, then suddenly staggers. Oh, whoa, careful. I rush to support her.
急にクラッとしました。さっちゃんはすごい迫力でした。
The way you handled her was incredible.
すごかったですか？
Totally. Can't believe you drove her away by calling her cute.
だってあの子は本当に可愛いんです。あの格好と喋り方で隠しているだけなんです。
Rika clenches her fists.
だから思い出してもらいます。さっちゃんに FC は楽しいんだよってことを。
Right. Rika looks up at me and smiles.
今ので自信がつきました。さっちゃんの前に出てもきちんと試合ができる気がします。
Not just her. You can play against anyone, Rika. Give this tournament all you've got.
はい。
Rika nods, and I feel a newfound sense of strength coming from her. She might actually be able to put up a fight now, against both Kasumi Kurobuchi and herself. The battle is drawing near. I gather my resolve as I await its arrival. A few days later, which to me it says tournament day, or probably the day before the tournament, because it looks like it's dusk, so yeah, leave it here today. I quite enjoyed this episode. Nice bit of story improvements. I did have a feeling that there was something quite important when she was talking about her past and her friend a while back. I did feel like there was something going to happen about that. I can't recall if I did say it was Kurobuchi or not. I like to make those types of guesses, but I can't remember now. I think what probably threw me off of trying to guess Kurobuchi was the name Sachan itself. Obviously would not have gotten that from her name, so yeah. It was quite an enjoyable episode. I quite enjoyed it. It makes me want to see how the match goes even more, and how Kurobuchi as a person changes. Because I do like these types of stories, in a sense, where it was a good person who turned evil, and then in the end you're able to change that person back to the good side, in a sense. Yeah, nothing else so much really to say. It was quite a nice conversation with SunaeVN and Shindo as well. And then the conversation with Kurobuchi and Rika. Yeah, looking forward to the next episode and see how that's going to change. I don't think we're going to go straight into it, because obviously this looks like it's just the day before, so it looks like going to be a bit of discussion, planning, and then pre-tournament talk as well, and probably will be a few more episodes, but yeah, we're getting there. But yeah, for now, that'll be it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you all next time.